Hey guys, now I wanted to swatch and review a highlighter palette for you guys, and this is by Lime Crime, and this is the Unicorns palette. I think all of Lime Crime's highlighting palettes are called HI-LITE, and each palette has a different name. So this one is called Unicorns, and this is part of their Unicorns collection, which they came out recently. I think it's a fall winter collection. So yeah, this is a highlighting palette, and at the back you can see there are 3 shades that you get, and each pan contains 7 grams of product, guys. So altogether you get 21 grams of product in one palette. Now 7 grams of product is is in fact a full size highlighter quantity that you get in a full size. Just for reference, Becca's shimmering skin perfectors in the full size contains 8 grams of product. That's for the ones that are in the permanent lineup. Now if you take the ones that Becca releases in the limited edition line, the ones with those what's that diamond cut kind of top, with that kind of patterns, they contain exactly the same amount of product that this guy contains in each pan, 7 grams of product. Becca gives you 1 gram less in their limited edition products, the one with that diamond cut kind of top. So yeah, these are, you get 3 full-size products, and this retails for $38. Now I also wanted to compare this palette with the Mermaids palette that they came out for this year's spring summer collection. This also is part of a collection which is called the Mermaids collection, but I don't think both these palettes are limited edition at all. I didn't see that word anywhere. So on Ulta's website, on Lime Crime's website, I didn't see the word limited edition, so I don't think these palettes are limited edition. So this, as you would have guessed from the name, the Mermaids collection, this also contains some trendy shades. Purple green, again we saw purple green in the other palette, purplish greenish kind of shades, and it also, this one contains like pearl shade, like an off-white shade. So I wanted to swatch both palettes and show you guys which is better for dark skin and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get started. Now both palettes contain 7 grams of product in each pan, so you get 21 grams of product in each palette. Now packaging wise, it's not that great, to be honest. It's very flimsy, and do you see it? Like I can bend this packaging, and it's so easy to bend. It's not that sturdy, but the palette has a weight to it. I'm guessing it's the weight that the heaviness that you experience when you hold this palette is from the 3 full-size highlighters that you get in here. Just the weight of the product, I think, because the actual packaging is very, very flimsy and very lightweight. So that's like kind of proof how much product you get, because the packaging is very, very light, but it is quite heavy, 21 grams. So anyways, I think that's it, right? And both palettes are certified vegan and cruelty free, and both the palettes are made in USA, and you do have like the list of ingredients at the back of the palette. Anyways, let's get started. This purple shade is called Happy Land, and no mirror. So yeah, right hand or left hand? Let's do right hand first. So that is called Happy Land. As you can see, it is like a very pinkish purple shade, which is very wearable because it has a blush tone to it. So, and as something which we need to observe is that it doesn't have a very strong base to it. You can obviously see some visible shimmers in there, but the base is not very strong, which I think is like a good thing if you have dark skin, because being a very light shade, it doesn't leave that white cast because the base itself is not that strong, but it is very, very reflective. So because of the shimmer, so they are not very finely milled, the shade, but yeah, there are visible shimmers. At the same time, this particular shade does not have any chunky glitter of any sort. So yeah, that is Happy Land. As you can see, I think, I'm not sure why. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry, I didn't really pick up enough product, I think, the previous time, but it is extremely pigmented, guys, on the skin. So that is Happy Land. As you can see, do you see the consistency is very thin? You can't, the shimmers just catch the light, and that's what make it so reflective. So yeah, that is Happy Land. And this, as I said earlier, this doesn't leave a white cast on my skin tone. And then this is a green shade which is called, what is it called? Frolic. Frolic is again, not again, this is a green shade. This is like a straight up green shade. Let's swatch Frolic. Frolic again has visible shimmers, not chunky glitter. As you can see, you can't see the glitter at all, but you can see the shimmers definitely on the skin as well. So yeah, that is Happy Land. As you can see, since the base is very almost non-existent, the visible shimmers is the actual I think component in the product which catches the light and creates that magic and that reflection. So I think this is a very wearable green. Both the shades are a very wearable green and purple. This is like a saturated swatch, so you can see the green and the purple very well. But do you see how when you like actually blend it onto the skin, since the base is not that like pigmented, not that strong, it doesn't really look like green highlighter at all. On my cheeks, I have both the products like dipped in both, so they do not look green or purple at all. They just look extremely reflective. So I think this is a very wearable green. If you are someone who always sticks to the traditional highlighter colors, you know, the golds and the champagne shades, and if you want to try something different, I think this would be really good, because both the shades, the base is not that it's not it doesn't have like a very pigmented base. Like the consistency of both the shades are very thin. Sorry for that washed out thing. Both the shades, Happy Land and Frolic, are both the consistency is very thin, so it doesn't leave a white cast on the skin, and you can't see that this is a purple shade. This is a green shade. It's not that obvious, but yet it's very reflective. So finally, this is that mauve shade. This is not kind of a cool tone, warm tone shade, because the base is cool tone, a mauve, like a very dirty lilac mauve shade, but the shimmers are gold. So now I have to say this particular shade, which is called, what is it called? Daydreamin'. Daydreamin', the base is actually pretty pigmented, as you can see. You can tell, right? The base product is actually pretty pigmented, and so yeah. But this again does not leave a white cast on my skin, probably because of the shimmers. The shimmers are all like this yellow gold shimmers, so it doesn't look very ashy at all on my skin tone, guys. In fact, once I tried mixing this, I think this shade and this shade, both Daydreamin' and Happy Land, and again it didn't leave a white cast at all. And this shade in particular is crazy pigmented. You do not need a second layer at all. I assure you, you do not need a second layer at all. It's crazy pigmented, and this one actually has chunky glitter in it. That gold glitter, the size of the glitter is it's actually kind of larger than the shimmers that you see in these two shades. So this does have some chunky glitter. If you ask me, all these three shades and the formula of these three kind of remind me of Fenty Beauty's Trophy Wife formula. You know, you can see the visible shimmers, and the shimmers are so extremely reflective. It gives it glass-like look, right? It's like glass-like or a mirror-like look, kind of like if you look at my cheeks, you can see a reflection, kind of that reflective look. But the base is kind of thin, at least for these two, that it does, when you look straight up, especially with these two shades. When I apply these two shades, either of these two shades, and look up straight, it looks like I do not have any product here. But when I turn, it's so reflective, guys. I really like this palette, and it's extremely dark skin friendly. I really like it. So yeah, that is the Unicorns palette. Now as for Mermaids palette, I just wanted to swatch. You know what, why not, let's just do also brush swatches for that. The price is same, the amount of product you get is also the same, everything is same. This the first shade is shell, right? Seashell. Yeah, this is also a purple shade. I just thought I'll swatch this. Oh wait, that is not a good swatch, but you guys can see the difference. The one at the bottom is Happy Land, the one on top is Seashell, and Seashell is like a bluish purple, as you can see. They are purple toned shades, but these are completely different. And let me quickly swatch that for you. And that is, and as you can see, this in this shade, the base product of this particular shade is more pigmented. So this, if I go with 2 layers, it did leave a white cast on my skin. This is the shade from the Mermaids palette, the one which was released spring summer this year. So this is an older palette. The ones that I swatched first was the brand new one. So yeah, that is a Seashell shade, which is a bluish purple. Again, very reflective, and it also contains visible shimmers in them. You can see the shimmers. So yeah, the next shade again is, let's do this green one, something that looks like green at least. This is more blue than green. Let me swatch it right below this. Do you see that? The top is one from, let's swatch that Frolic shade from the Unicorns palette properly. Yeah, the top is Frolic from the Unicorns palette, and the bottom is, what is that called? It's called Mermaid actually. The bottom is Mermaid from the Mermaids palette, and as you can see, more bluish, and this is definitely green, no doubt about it. No bluish green or greenish blue, just straight up blue. And let's swatch Mermaid from the Mermaids palette, and as you can see, again, the base is more of a white toned base, and this again, if one layer actually doesn't really give me a problem, it doesn't pose a problem on my skin tone, both this top shade and this Seashell and Mermaid shade, but 2 layers it does actually, it does leave a white cast on my skin tone. So yeah, that, and this is more like too much in your face if you ask me, but that's not the problem, at least for me. For me is the white cast is a problem. And finally we have this pearl shade, which is actually called Pearl. Yeah, it's called Pearl. It's actually a pearl shade. Now this is a very white based pearl shade. This is a straight up an off-white pearl shade, that's it. And it looks and this particular shade does not have any chunky glitter, any visible shimmers. It's extremely finely milled, and it's just pure white cast on my skin tone, guys. It's just not wearable. Yeah, that's the shade, guys. It's just a white cast. It's just a plain white cast on dark skin. So I was terribly disappointed with the Mermaids palette, as you can see. I was not happy at all. I truly regretted the purchase. It's not that I don't use this palette. I do use these shades for the inner corner highlighters on my eyes, in my eyes, just on the inner corners, and they look stunning actually as inner corner highlighters, just because, do you see how reflective they are on my skin tone? So they will work beautifully as inner corner highlighters. In fact, I have this shade in the inner corners today, and it's really good. And also as eyeshadows, they work amazingly well. They look stunning on the eyelids. It's not like they crumble, and when you try to pack these products on the eyelids with a flat eyeshadow brush, they don't crumble, they don't look sheer. They actually are really good. They are amazing as eyeshadows and inner corner highlighters. But for darker skin, this particular palette, Mermaids palette, does give me a problem. It does present a problem, which is a white cast. So I don't recommend this, the Mermaids palette at all for the dark skin. But I highly recommend the Unicorns palette for dark skin. It's really, really good. As I said, all three formulas in the Unicorns palette remind me of the Fenty Beauty Trophy Wife highlighter formula. So it's just like the same formula, but you get three different colors and not the gold color. So you have to like glittery highlighters for sure. If you do not like glittery highlighters, stay away from these. You will hate them. So you should be able to tolerate glittery highlighters if you're going to buy this. So and you should probably also like some adventurous colors, very fun colors. This pinky purple, this green, and this mauve gold shade. I was very happy with this mauve gold shade. It looked really, really beautiful, guys, on my skin tone. I like the fact that these two, the pinky purple and the green, as I said, the base is not that strong. The consistency of both the shades are very thin. So let me just show it to you in the palette. It's very confusing when you look at the swatch, I feel. So these two are very, the consistency of the product is thin. So it doesn't leave a white cast on my skin tone on dark skin, but it's extremely reflective. When I say reflective, it's that glass-like, mirror-like reflective look. It just looks beautiful. So the consistency of both these products are so thin is that, like I said earlier, if you look straight up, it doesn't look like I have any product here, but I've just turned, it looks so reflective. And the base of this product, the mauve shade, is actually pigmented. You can see the mauve tones, as you can see. So it is pigmented, but the gold shimmers and the glitters, I think it really, really helps in preventing the white cast, I feel. And it's also very pigmented. Do not have to over apply at all. So all in all, for dark skin, I recommend the Unicorns. If you have lighter skin, you can just pick either. I think I can just pick either. And even if you have darker skin, you can go for the Unicorns. But the Unicorns palette, sorry, not Unicorns, the Mermaid palette. But you know, it will give you a white cast. So just be aware of that. So yeah, you guys, hope you guys found this video useful. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked watching it, and please subscribe. Bye.